Welcome to the training video for Audacity. Audacity is a digital audio editing program that can be downloaded from the internet. Audacity was started in 2000 by a couple of students in a college and has quickly grown until now it is one of the most downloaded programs from the internet. Unlike other distance education tools, Audacity is not a web application. Audacity is a downloadable software program that can be taken from the internet and used on your own personal computer. The advantages of this are that there are no logins or passwords to remember with Audacity. There's no verification or authentication emails that you have to worry about. The downside is Audacity can only be used on a computer where the program has been downloaded. The first step to using Audacity is to download it. So let's go ahead and do that now. Bring up my web browser here. The first thing you need to know is Audacity.com is not the website for the Audacity program. Audacity.com, just so you know, is a software consulting business. And if you go to their website, it says right here, we do not make audio software. So that is not where you want to go. The easiest way to find Audacity is just simply to go to Google and type in Audacity. It's the first link that comes up. Audacity.sourceforge.net is the website, and that brings you to Audacity's homepage. Here on the homepage you can see all the different options for downloads. Let's go here to all Audacity downloads so we can see all the options that we have. There are different versions of Audacity, one for Windows, one for Mac, one for Linux. There's also several different versions available depending on your computer's processing speeds and those kind of things. Since I'm using a Mac, I'll click here on Audacity for Mac. It will show me the different ones, and you just want to look through and make sure you get the right one for your computer. I'm going to use Audacity 2.0.1. Since I've already downloaded it, I'm not going to do it again, but you just simply click on this link here and it will take you through the download process. It'll prompt you to open up the program and then to run it on your computer. Once you get Audacity downloaded and opened, you'll be brought to this window, which is the main Audacity page. And this is where you can have some fun with Audacity. There are two main things that you can do on Audacity. The first is to record your own audio, and the second is to edit pre-recorded audio. Let's begin with recording your own audio. You can see here there are different options for you to use as you record. You can add outputs if you want. If you have your own microphone, you can add that in and use it here. You can just use the built-in microphone. Once you've got the options set the way you want them, and normally they're set pretty well, you just simply hit this record button right here. Just going to hit that button, and you'll see this recording window starts coming up, and it's recording. You can see the blue lines going here. Those are the sound waves, shows you that it's recording. Sometimes when you hit record, it doesn't work. For some reason, you'll just see a thin blue line instead of the waves, and if that happens, just stop, discard that one, and restart. So we are currently recording. Once you're finished recording, whatever you need to record, just come up here and hit the stop button, and you can see you're recording. Let's go back to the first with this rewind button, and we'll just hit play and make sure that recording worked. And you'll see this recording window starts coming up, and it's recording. Alright, we'll go ahead and stop that. So you can see that that recording worked, and the audio quality is fairly good. It's not fantastic, but it's fairly good. Obviously, you're not going to spend a lot of time recording your own voice, but there are some very useful things that you can record on Audacity, and we'll talk a little bit later about educational uses for Audacity. So that is how you record. That's the first step. Once you're done recording, then you move on to editing. At any time, if you need to get rid of the track that you're using, you just come over here and click on this X, and that'll get rid of that track. Now when you do that, there's no kind of warning or confirmation window that pops up, so make sure you don't do that unless you're really ready to get rid of that track. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this track because we're pretty well done with it, so I'll hit that X. That brings us to the second part of Audacity, which is the editing part, and this is probably the part that people use more often. There's two different ways to edit. You can edit audio that you record yourself, or you can import audio from another source and edit that. For this example, that's what we're going to do. So we come here to File and go down to Import Audio, and then you can import audio from anywhere off of your computer. Just for fun here, as an example, I'm going to use one of my all-time favorite songs, Wannabe by the Spice Girls, so I'll just click on that, and it will import it into Audacity. There you can see it's brought up, and we'll go ahead and hit play just so you can see that that's really is what it is.
Yo, tell me what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
And there you have it. All of the blue squiggly lines that you see on the screen, those are the separate sound waves of the song, and as you edit, those are the waves that you're going to be using to make the changes that you want to make. You may find when you import audio like this that the song just like this is really squished together. You can see all 2 minutes and 50 seconds of the song are squished into about 6 inches on my screen, and that makes it pretty hard to edit. So the first thing we want to do is go up to this magnifying glass and zoom. We're just going to click this a couple times, and that will spread out those wave forms so that it's a little bit easier to edit. Let's go ahead and start editing here. The first thing that we want to do is make sure we get out of this zoom tool, and we'll just do that by clicking back on the normal cursor. This is the main tool that you'll use as you're editing. You can see there's some other tools that you can explore as needed. Audacity is a huge program that has tons and tons of different options. We don't have time in this video to explore all the options that there are. I'm going to show you some of the basic ones, the ones that you'll use most often, and then obviously once you download Audacity, you're free to go through and explore and find the tools that are most useful for you. Let's start with some of the most basic tools, like, for example, cutting sound out. Mine got zoomed in a little bit too much, so I'm going to zoom back out just a little bit. There we go. That's much better. All right. You can see right here at the first of the song, these little tick marks show that there's a little bit of extra sound at the first that I don't want. Let's listen and see what that sounds like. So this song doesn't really begin until about 4.5 seconds, and that's where I want it to start. So I want to cut out all that sound before that because I don't need that in my version of the song. So I'm just going to click right here. That little hand tool tells me that I'm starting there, and I'm just going to highlight all the stuff that comes before that and simply hit delete, and that will take all of that out. So now the song starts like this. Right where I want it to start, and we are good to go. If I had edited too much, taken out a little too much or anything like that, if I didn't like that, you just go up to edit and undo that and try again. At the end of the song, there is also a ton of extra sound. You can see the blue line ends here, and then you see all this extra time before the track ends. We don't need all that time, so let's do the same thing here. Click there, highlight all of this. I'm just dragging the cursor along to highlight that. And there's lots and lots and lots of it. And once we get back to where the audio actually ends, we'll let go and hit delete and get rid of all that. Great, now we've got a much better sound. If in the middle of a song there is something you want to edit out of that, then the same rules apply. You just click, drag to where you want to stop cutting, and hit delete. Now I don't really want to edit that part out, so I am going to undo that, but you can cut any part of the song anywhere and put things together in any way that you wish. That's the simplest editing tool that there is on Audacity. Audacity also gives you the option to add a whole bunch of effects, and we'll just explore a few of these quickly as we wrap up here. You can see this whole list of effects. This is just in the effects window right here. And you can do basically anything you want with a song. You can see options to change the pitch, to change the speed, to change the tempo. This will change how fast the song goes, how high the voices are, those kind of things. Let me just show you a few of the cooler ones on here, things that may be a little more commonly used. For example, to change the speed of the song, if you want to speed it up, you just come here and you tell it what percentage you want it changed by. So let's say we want it to speed up by 10%. Let's OK that. It'll take a second to speed up the song, and then we'll listen to it again. Yo, tell me what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. You can hear there's a slight change in the audio there, but sometimes that may be what you want. And if you're working on a project and you need to fit your music into a little less time and you don't want to cut it, maybe speeding it up is a good way to do that. If you don't like the way that sounds, just go to Edit and undo that speed change, and it'll go back to normal. Let's go back to the effects menu here and look at a few other things. Some of these are kind of fun. For example, there is a reverse tool that allows you to actually reverse the order of some of the music to turn it and play it backwards. So let's say, for example, we want to play this section backwards. Let's just take that little section right there from 22 seconds, and we'll highlight over to 19 seconds. And let's go up to the Effect menu and reverse that section. You can see it flips that audio around. Let's go back here to about 17 seconds and hear how that sounds. You can hear that reverse section, how the words get all garbled and things get all messed up. But sometimes that may be a cool effect and just what you're looking for. There's also an option here to repeat a section of the song. So if you want the chorus repeated, for example, you just highlight the chorus and go up and hit that reverse, and you can make that change as well. There are all sorts of different effects here, and you can see effect is just one of the many menus that there are available on Audacity. There's a whole section here to generate sounds. There's a whole section to mess with the tracks, to change it from stereo to mono and all those kind of things, to work with sound balance, analyzing, all these kind of things. Once you get your project done the way that you want it to be, and you make it sound the way you want, the last step is simply to save the project in the format that you want it. Now this is important because, like we said before, because Audacity is a downloaded file, Audacity files will only play on computers that have the Audacity program downloaded. So when you go to File, you need to choose the way that you want to save your project. If you want to save it as an Audacity file, which means it's going to be saved in exactly this format, and you'll open it again in Audacity either on your computer or another computer, just simply go to Save Project As, and we'll OK that. That's just telling us what we talked about, and you can decide how you want to save it there. If you want to save just the audio, not all this mixing stuff that you see here, but just the audio of what you've edited, if you want to just save that, instead of saving it, we're going to export it. So let's go to this Export menu, and that will give us some options of how we want to export it. Down here at the bottom, the format, this will give us our choices. We can export it as a WAV, you'll see we can export it as an MP3, we can export it as any of these kind of files. I typically use a WAV because that's probably the simplest way to do it. So let's go ahead and do that just so you can see how that looks. I will save this as wannabe edit because we edited it just a little bit, and go ahead and save that. This is going to ask us anything special we want to do. We'll just go ahead and OK that, and it is now exporting the project as a WAV file. If I close this, you can now see on my desktop I have the WAV file, which is just a simple sound file. So I can play that. Yo, tell me what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want. And that will play our edited version. From here, these WAV files are very easy to email if you need to share it with other people. You can also bring it into iTunes and burn a CD, any of those things that you need to do. As a music teacher myself, I use the Audacity program all the time to record music for my students, to edit songs that we're working on in class and those kind of things. But even for in a non-music classroom setting, Audacity has some great applications in the classroom. As this world that we live in becomes more technology-based and more media-driven, our students are being asked all the time to be more and more media savvy, to make videos for projects, to make PowerPoint presentations that include audio, those kind of things, and to make those projects more and more professional looking. Audacity is a great program to make those things happen. It's wonderful for our students to know how to use, because when they need to make a video for their science class, they can make sure that their audio goes just the way they want to. It's also very beneficial for teachers, so that as teachers are preparing media uses for their own classes, making videos or PowerPoints for their classes to watch, teachers can use this program to edit their audio to get it to sound just the way they want to. Also, the recording option here is very, very nice. It gives teachers a very simple way. For example, if a teacher is going to be gone for the day and you want to record lesson plans or instructions for the students that you can then just play to the students and have them listen, Audacity is a great way to do that. There's a whole bunch of different applications for this program. Audacity is a wonderful program. Like I said, it's a huge program. So go ahead and download it and play around with it, and hopefully you can find some fun stuff and some good ways to use Audacity in your classroom.